Peace, peace, peace. Once again, I'm your host, Juice Wanna, and this is Esoteric Daydreams, the awakening, right? Where we take the hidden and we make it known, right? A lot of the woke, they spend their time thinking that the nightmare, was real bad, Christianity. I'm not saying it wasn't. Right, I'm not saying it wasn't, especially when you had, the daydream, which was worse, which was really orchestrating your nightmare. Right, the satanic system has been in control way longer than you've been around, so you have never really truly experienced, Christianity, not with these invaders all through there, right? Already planting their seeds of corruption, right? So don't forget, hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so you can be notified whenever new content is being uploaded or we go live, just like now, right? Don't forget. Check out my book, Street Skelzy, Knock 'em Out the Box. It's about two brothers on opposite sides of the law who must team up in order to find their father's killer or killers. Right? It's a fast-paced book that takes you through the streets of New York. It's like I'm stumbling on my words right now, so I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm gonna do a whole commercial on it. You know what I'm saying? But I be really trying not to water down the show. I just promote the book because I believe there's no robbery and fair exchange, meaning that yes, you can get the information, but if you wanted to support me in financial gain, do it through my book. You know what I'm saying? My books, I write them, enjoy them, pass them on. You buy as many books as you want to support the channel. Just buy a book and, send it out. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much on that. Right? So, let's get into this, right? And on this, we're going to talk about how the Jesuits, right, through the art of Freemasonry, right, has been constructing this satanic system, right? And now we went through Natali Conti, right? And so we understand through him, right? We'll get even deeper, but through him as a reference, we understand of taking these characters, right, actual beings, putting them in these esoteric ways, right, to have people see themselves and relate to certain things in order to generate certain actions. That's why it's not good for urban Americans, blacks, to watch TV or listen to music, because what it depicts is destructive, right? So we're gonna get into the construction, right? We're gonna get into the construction of this, right? So let's go. Remember, Rehoboam is Asmodeus. Now we just went through Rehoboam, the king, right, who was born through this demon, right, Naamah, right, who was Solomon's wife, right? So it goes, Asmodeus, Asmodai is the prince of demons in Abrahamic religions. Asmodeus is mostly known from the Deuterocanical books of Tabit, in which he is the primary antagonist, right? The demon is also mentioned in some Talmudic legends. For instance, in the history of the deconstruction of Solomon's temple. Right? So remember, we was talking about Asmodeus and Rehoboam, and his connection, to the temple. Right? The name Asmodeus is believed to derive from the Avestine, where Asmi means wrath, and Devia signifies demon. It is nonetheless likely that such a form did exist, and that the book of Tabit Asmodeus and the Talmud Asmodia reflected. While the Devia Asmia is thus Zoroastrianism, right? We're going to get into that because that's where a lot of this all goes back into, right? In the Zoroastrian, the Middle Persian demonology did exist, the conjectured form Kashmir Dev, where both terms are cognates. The Jewish Encyclopedia of 1906 rejects the otherwise accepted etymological relations between the Persians, right, Asmia, Dever, and Judaism as Moda, claiming that the particles deviate could not have become Dia, and that Ajmi Devi, as such a compound name, never appears in Persian sacred texts. Right? Some traditions have secretly identified Shamran as the father as Asmodeus. Right? Still, the encyclopedia proposes that Asmodeus from the Apocrypha and the Testament of Solomon are not only related somewhat to Asma, but have similar behaviors, appearances, and roles. To conclude, in another article under the entity Ashmia in the paragraph influenced of Persian beliefs of Judaism, that Persian Zoroastrian beliefs could have heavily influenced Judaism theology on the long term, bearing in mind that in some texts there are crucial conceptual differences, while in others there seems to be a great deal of similarity, proposing a pattern of influence over folk beliefs that would extend further to the mythologically itself. So right there is breaking down how you can have these pockets, right? Because, pardon me, they all basically hold similar patterns and principles. So even if they broke off, right, they were still a part of the same thing. So it's able to pull them back. How do you know they pull them back? Through the creation of Asmodeus, making all of them associated with him. Right, so in the Talmud, the figure of Asmodeus in the Talmud is less Malgin in character than the Asmodeus and the Tabit. There is one feature in which he parallels Asmodeus, and as much as his desire turned on Bathsheba and later Solomon's wives. Another Talmudic legend has King Solomon tricking Asmodeus and collaborating in what? The construction of Solomon's temple. Another legend depicts Asmodeus throwing King Solomon over 400 leagues away from the capital by putting one wing on the ground and the other stretched skyward. He then changed places for some years with King Solomon. Similar legends can be found in Islamic law. Asmodeus is referred to as Shirk, the rock, or the stony one. I know I didn't say that right. Shakra, because Solomon banished him into a rock after he takes his kingdom back from him. He is considered to be a king of the jinn or demons, devs. Another passage describes him as marrying Lilith, queen, and who becomes his queen. So we know, remember I went through the four heads of the devil, and Lilith, Neymar, and the other two I can't really pronounce their name good unless I'm actually reading it. But those are the four heads of the devil, right? And so as you can see right here, how, well, you'll be seeing how Lilith coincides with Neymar, later on, right? In the Testament of Solomon, a first and third century text. Now, mind you, this is after the construction of Christianity. So now we have this secret, satanic system being constructed around, the first and third century. The King Solomon invoked Asmodeus to aid in the construction of the temple. The demon appears to predict Solomon's kingdom will one day be divided. Testament of Solomon, verse 21 through 25. When Solomon interrogates Asmodeus further, the king learned that Asmodeus is taught by the angel Raphael, as well as by sheetfish found in the river of Asphia. He also admits to hating water. Asmodeus claims that he was born of a human mother and angel father. Right? So we know Neymar, right? And we also covered that in the Batman tale. So this is the picture of Neymar. Basically, when you see the demon right there, that's Neymar. That's King Solomon, right? And the mural Malfecrium, right? And Asmodeus was considered the demon of lust. Some demonologists in the 16th century assigned a month to a demon and considered November to be the month in which Asmodeus' powers was strongest. Other demonologists assert that his zodiacal sign was Aquarius, but only between January 30th and, February 8th. And the Dictionary Infernal by Colin D. Plancy portrays Asmodeus as the breast of man, right? The breast of man. So we remember the breast part, okay? A cock leg, a serpent tail, three heads, riding lion with dragon wings and neck. All of these creatures being associated with either lustativity, lust, or revenge in some cultures. So you see how they take these symbols and they compress them, right? We went through this with Natal Conti, so we can see the structure in making this world or this religion, right? Because as we say in this world, there's also this religion, because it becomes the philosophy and concept that is given to the people over time, right? The Archbishop of Paris approved the portrait, right? In the Lesser Keys of Solomon, Asmodeus appears as the king Asmode in the Ars Grata, where he is said to have a seal of gold and is listed as number 32 according to respective ranks. Number what? 32? Hold on. When we see the the 30 sign 33, and we see the 32 sign. Right? He is strong, powerful, and appears with 3 heads. The first is like a bull, the second like a man, and the third like a ram or goat. The tail of a serpent, in the form, and from his mouth issues flames of fire. Also he sits upon the infernal dragon, holds a lance with a banner, and amongst the legions of Asmode governs 72 legions of inferior spirits. I also included, these symbols. We'll be getting into them, but just in case you run across these people, you'll know, the true, Satanists, And Christian thought, prince of leprosy, the deadly sin of lust, the banker of the baccarat table in hell, and overseer of earthly gambling houses. A mischievous demon endowed with a playful and satirical genius, sarcastical genius, satirical. It's my fault. Satirical genius, right? Having a handsome vintage, good manners, and an engaging nature. Walking with a limp, one leg was either curled or that of a rooster, the limping devil or the lame devil. Right? I think in what was it? The movie where Al Pacino played the devil. If I'm correct, he had a limp inside that movie. Right? This is in the Kabbalah. According to the Kabbalah, in the school of Shalomo, right, Ibn Abed, Asmodeus is born as a result of a union between Agat-Beth Malat and King David. Now, instead of making it one of the demons, they switched it over to another demon, right? So not Neymar, but the other demon, right? And Trestes on the left, emanation, which describe Citria Atria, meaning the other side or the side of evil. Asmodeus is described as a figure living in the third ether of heaven. So this demon is living in the third, ether of heaven. He is Samuel's subordinate and married to a younger form of Lilith. Samuel is married to the older Lilith. Asmodeus is still able to inflict pain and destruction, but only on Mondays. Right? In Islam culture, Asmodeus is known as Shrek, Sakra. I'm hoping I'm saying a Sakra, right? Probably a reference to his faith being imprisoned inside a box of rock. A box of rock. Okay, chained with irons and thrown into the sea. Asmodeus becomes a central figure and Exascriel in the Quranic verse Surah 38, 34, right? We allow Solomon to be seduced by temptation. He was cast and we cast a body upon his seat. Then he repented. According to the Quranic exegesis, the body of Asmodeus, either a jinn or demon impersonating the king, it being right. This is all names I'm not going to get, refers to as a jinn, while the Persian Quran exegete Tiberia refers to him as Shaitan, and both his works are known of all, of al-Tabari as well as Tafsir. Right. Others also identify him as a demon, which might have been the Persian term for shaitan, as both refer to inevitable evil spirit. So, basically is interchangeable. Right. So remember, as we keep looking at this picture, this is supposed to be one of those type of wives, that even, she hunt down those with power and get into his head till he, destroys everything. Right? The story of the prophet Kali Amin gives various reasons for his punishment, sometimes because of acting unjustly before a family dispute, or hands the other ring to a demon in exchange for knowledge, while most sources invoke the idea that one of his wives committed adultery. After the next before escalates the allegory, one must behave like a triumph Solomon and chain the demon of the nefs, or lower self, locking the demon prince into a rock before the wrath can make the first steps of the divine. So if you learn how to control your lower self, can't get into your head and make you do things that you know is not of your character. You understand what I'm saying? So the best way is to never put on the front. When you run across broads out there, you don't put on the front. You got to be you. That way there's nothing that a person can use against you. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all designed to be used against you. Right? So, we're going to end that there. And, I'm going to say, thank you for watching. Once again, I'm Juice Wanna. This is, hold on, let me bring my background up here. Esoteric Daydreams, The Awakening. We're sure you might have woke up from the so-called nightmare of Christianity, of the Abrahamic religions, but are you walking into this horrible daydream called Satanic system, operated by the Jesuits and ran by and controlled by the Jesuits, and its workers are nothing but Freemasons or those trying to get in. This system is the British Empire. Thank you for watching once again. Please don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, and the notification bell so you could be notified whenever new content is uploaded or we go live, like now.